Big head kick.
The next fight is between Siddharth Dhami and Parmesh Manni, once again in the amateurs. Now we throw back to Jared inside the cage for the introductions.
Ladies and gentlemen, and now after that amazing fight, we move back to the amateur fight card for the fourth fight tonight. Fighting out of the blue corner, Siddharth Dhami.
Siddharth Singh Dhami trains out of Mutant MMA Academy. This fight once again is the perfect striker versus grappler fight. Now he was ready, he was on point, he was prepared, he came to fight.
And now his opponent fighting out of the red corner, Parmesh Manni.
Just tell us how impressed you are with their professionalism.
Well, I mean, these guys, they're training and behaving. They're approaching the fight just like pros, coming in prepared, ready to, making weight, being on time for all the events that they've got to do to participate in these fights. His opponent.
Everybody for the fighter, hee-haw!
He's coming off a fast KO finish in his last amateur fight. He would want to end this fight relatively soon.
Yeah, I think we're going to see a similar approach that we saw from Mukesh in the last fight. He's going to want to...
Abhishek Best!
Okay, boys. Clean fight, listen my command, stop, then stop. Okay, touch the gloves and go to your corner.
As I said, Parmesh Manni has explosive power in his hands. He's coming off a flash KO in his last amateur fight. Siddharth Dhami, however, is a solid grappler, would want to take this fight to the mat and impose his will on his opponent.
Yeah, he's going to have to get inside and take this fight to the ground as quickly as he can.
Both the fighters are now ready to engage.
Touch gloves. See Parmesh. Whoa, he's looking for that big right hand.
Has that explosive power and he's ready to use it. There we go, the opening second.
Now he's got it down to the ground, which is where he wants to be.
We talked about it. The plan was executed by both the fighters very early in this fight. Parmesh going for that big knockout. Siddharth, however, escaping that predicament and has taken the fight to the ground. He is in dominant position here. Now he has stood up.
We'll see how comfortable Parmesh is on the ground. He's able to get out of it, but he gets rolled again. He's got the hooks in. He's going to look for this. He's going to look to stick a rear naked choke here. But again, based on what I saw, the fighters from the Knockout Fight Club are very skilled in jiu-jitsu, and we're seeing Parmesh do pretty well on the ground here, actually.
He's not letting Siddharth impose his will on him.
Right.
He's not letting him settle.
Right. He's looking to get he's trying to sink in that arm, trying to get a rear naked choke here, but he's not letting him do that. Now he's got to be. It doesn't look like he's in a position for a triangle. Oh!
That was a spike. That was a spike on the mat.
Yeah. Now Parmesh is in a good position here to counter strike, which you're starting to see him do. The way he's going to loosen him up here is he needs to let that left hand fly.
That was a really good plan, so to say, by Parmesh, by spiking Siddharth's head onto the mat. We've seen fighters getting knocked out. We have seen fights ending because of that.
Exactly. Siddharth's not in a very good control position here, actually. Now he's trying to get
repositioning. He's repositioning himself now.
He's looking again. He's looking for that rear. Oh, now he's going to strike from the back here. Parmesh is going to have to. He wants to slip out, try to slip out through his legs, take away that leverage that he's got from the striking.
Parmesh is in a very bad position.
He's in a very bad position. He looks to be uncomfortable. He doesn't quite know what to do and how to get himself out of the situation here.
Siddharth is all over Parmesh at this point.
He needs to be aggressive here. We're in the last minute of the round. He wants to try and end the fight here, if not score points for a clear, decisive victory in the round.
The fight started rather eventfully with both the fighters bringing the Ray game, showing the fans what they really wanted to do, and it has since been all Siddharth by this point.
It has, yeah. He's in a bad. He doesn't seem like he knows what to do here in terms of how to get out of this position. He wants to try and work his way back, get away from those head strikes, get underneath towards his waist where he doesn't have as much leverage to throw those strikes. He's trying to control the wrist here, but he's not having any luck.
How important do you think this phase is? A, because Siddharth, as we can see, is tiring himself out here throwing those punches.
Well, I tell you, I think as we come out in the next round, Parmesh is going to be a lot more tired. Being on the ground trying to defend really takes its toll on a fighter. And so while he's saved by the bell here, I would expect that he's going to be, we get a little controversy here. The two fighters, he didn't like the way that round ended. He felt he was a little too aggressive here.
It looks like he landed a few blows after the round ended.
Yeah, he did. Siddharth, he smells blood in the water. He knows he had him at the end of that round. He wants to finish this fight. They touch gloves out of respect. Boom, he comes out, wow, right away with the head kick. And here he goes, he's working inside. Big strikes, but didn't land. Siddharth's able to get inside. He can't strike the back of his head. The referee warns him there. Siddharth takes the fight to the ground. Again, he's looking to posture up. Again, rain down the head, trying to rain down the head strikes that he did in the first round.
Siddharth once again has the dominant position here.
And Parmesh is really just sort of holding on here in a defensive posture.
Correct, Parmesh needs to do something different. He
Yeah.
needs to do something drastic by this point because it's been all Siddharth.
Right. He needs to look, he needs to release that lock he's got on the guard and try and work his body out from underneath him. Now what we're seeing, Siddharth doesn't have he's not postured up, raining down the strikes like he did in the first round. These strikes that we're seeing from him now aren't as effective as what we saw from him in the first round.
That's what we discussed towards the end of the round because he was throwing so many punches. I think he did throw punches for an entire minute towards the end of the round. That would take some sort of effect on him,
No, you're
affect his
right.
gas tank.
It clearly had an effect on both fighters. I think that's why you're not seeing Parmesh try to do too much from the bottom either. Both fighters are very fatigued at this point in the fight from the effort that they expended in the first round.
But this is perfect for Siddharth because we know what Parmesh can do with his flash KOs.
Right. And
Siddharth once again imposing his will here.
he came close. I mean, you saw that aggressive striking that he went for at the beginning of the round just before Siddharth was able to get inside and take the fight to the ground. The best scenario for him here is the fight stalemates. Maybe the referee stands him back up and restarts the fight on their feet.
Do you think this action is, you could call it probably influential because this action, they're not doing much.
Well, this is actually a lot harder than it looks. I mean, while it looks like the fighters aren't moving much, you know, for both fighters, both the top and the bottom fighter is trying to work his way out of a bad position. The top fighter, it's what we're going to see, the referee's going to stand him up.
As we talked about, the fighter has stood, the referee has stood both the fighters.
And I think we're going to see some big strikes. Look, whoa, big left hand caught him there.
Parmesh
And good head strikes as he's going. He's got his legs. Oh, Siddharth's in a bad position there. He's able to roll it over, but Parmesh continues to strike from the ground.
Parmesh visibly looks tired.
He's getting, yeah, he does. He's getting instructions from his corner to try and tie him up.
But you have to compliment Siddharth because even though he got tagged, he did not show any fear. He knows his game plan. Immediately shot in, went for the takedown, the double leg, and he is now secured.
And that double leg takedown
position
didn't
again.
come right away. I mean, he was taking shots to the head as he was securing his position to bring him to the ground. That shows a real grit from that fighter.
Yeah, once again, nearing the end of the second round. It's been interesting, so to say, because while Siddharth had more control, Parmesh nearly finished this fight.
Nearly finished the fight, yeah. And that's the risky run. If you're not able to finish that fight on the ground, you run the risk the referee's going to stand it up and you give your effective striking from the bottom there, but it wasn't able to finish the fight.
The third round is going to be interesting because you have to feel Parmesh needs to do something different.
We'll see if Siddharth has the same success he did, avoiding those strikes, getting in and being able to take his opponent down to the ground. Here we go. I'm going to touch gloves out of respect. They're ready to go. And you can tell Parmesh is tired. He's not as aggressive. We didn't see the striking from him in this round that we did in the first two rounds. He's going to be patient here. He's got him up. Nice takedown there.
Siddharth is very technical because he set up that takedown with a feint.
Yeah, it's impressive. His body position, his technique is very effective against basically a larger fighter than him.
And talking about techniques, if you notice how he takes his opponent down, he shoots low. He doesn't shoot over the hip. He shoots at the hip, immediately secures the takedown.
Right.
Very technical.
Very technical. Sign of very good coaching. A lot of practice, a lot of hard work goes into perfecting those sort of techniques. Now again, Parmesh is really, at this point, he's just holding on, trying to avoid those strikes. He's trying to keep him close to his body so that he's unable to posture up and rain down more effective head strikes with leverage. Siddharth seems frustrated here that the referee is instructing him he's got to work here. He's going to stand it up again.
Those punches, they do very little to hurt your opponent now, because at this point, both the fighters, they look very tired.
Yeah, they do. They're more of an annoyance. What you're really trying to do there is to get your opponent to loosen his grip and improve your position from the bottom. You know, you had him in that body lock, and what Siddharth is trying to do is basically, you know, throw those punches. Oh, he goes for the big shot, and he misses. They're down on the ground again. Real dominance here by Siddharth.
You'd have to believe Parmesh, once again, has to do something. Has to do something. He just has about 90 seconds to salvage the fight.
I think he doesn't really have a lot of gas left in the tank here. You see that the last two restarts, he's been less effective in his striking, and I think you really see the fatigue setting in. While it looks like he's not doing much on the ground here, this is a really hard position to be in. This is really wears on a fighter's endurance when you've got somebody on top of you. Just holding on, trying to keep him close to his body is taking a lot of energy for him to try and just be defensive at this point in the fight.
And Parmesh isn't setting up his shots either. He's going for those big haymakers.
Yeah, he's just throwing the Hail Mary bombs, hoping they land, and they haven't.
Siddharth once again.
Again, what he's doing here, like I said, these punches aren't really that effective in terms of the damage that they're doing. But what you're trying to do is get your opponent to loosen his grip, where he can improve his position. So he's released that lock on his head. And if Siddharth can posture up, he's going to be in a better position to rain down. The referee's going to stand him up here again.
Something needs to give. Something needs to give.
We'll see. He's going to look to him throw one of those Hail Mary haymakers again and again. Fails. He's got the single leg here. Nice takedown technique again, and they end up in the full guard.
The duration of this fight, you could say the story, the narrative has been the same here. Siddharth taking the fight to the ground, loosening up his opponent, dominating, basically imposing his will.
Yes. You know, I think the one thing he hasn't been able to do, though, is once he gets the fight to the ground, he hasn't been able to really improve his position, right? So Parmesh has done a good job of keeping him defensive, keeping him held tight, not allowing him to strike. And that's the end of the fight.
Siddharth, could you make a point here that Siddharth never, as you said, really looked for a finish there? Now we go back to Jared inside the cage for the decision.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, who do you think won this one? And here we've gone to the judges once again. After the completion of 3 rounds, the winner by unanimous decision from the blue corner, Siddharth Dhami!
Siddharth from the Mutant MMA Academy winning the fight via unanimous decision. I don't think that was ever under any sort of doubt there.
No, there was really no question about who won the fight there. And